Hey, it's your boy Lock Zero, and I'm here with my brother.
It's Rev. How's it going, guys
Yep, and we are here
and
to,
gals?
yes, guys and gals, we are very inclusionary here and everything in between, full spectrum. Uh,
Absolutely.
we are here to review the latest chapter, One Piece, chapter 1005. What's this chapter called?
Devil Child.
Devil Child, yes. Yeah, man. Super hyped about this chapter, ready to get into it. We're coming off a break off of this one, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
This is finally a little bit of action now. These
Yeah.
breaks are just even more crazy now that we are in the thick of action. I just need it. Just need it constantly coming into my life. I don't care how big, how small. Just come on, give it to
Yeah,
me.
seriously.
Pause. But yeah, no. Honestly, yeah, no. We're gonna jump right into it. We have the cover page request by Gomumera no Mi, and it's a category sharing milk and donuts with hungry puppies and kittens. That sounds pretty lovely. They're in this forest, like the candy forest, just having a good old picnic. He's eating a category. His mouth is stuffed full with a gigantic donut. Little
Hmm.
mokey mokey action, and behind him are some kittens and puppies, and they're licking up bowls of milk and having little what looks like like bonbons and cakes and stuff all around. It's a nice little sweet tea party.
Hmm.
And
It's
category
just
is in heaven. He's having his cracked donut and he's like losing his shit. I love it.
it's the
It's me every time I
seducing
eat a donut.
seducing woods, right?
Yeah, yeah. It looks like the seducing woods. Yeah, with all the
Yeah.
candy and stuff. And yeah, and he's
Hmm.
just going to town.
Hmm. What's your
That's my
favorite
spirit
donut,
animal
by
right
the
there.
way?
What?
What's your favorite donut, by the way?
Boston cream always has a special place in my heart. Um, I'm a sucker for a good chocolate little glaze too.
Mm, chocolate, I'm not that big on chocolate donuts, but I think as far as donut type goes, like lemon filled donuts, custard, whatever, those are probably my favorite. But brand Krispy Kreme, like regular glazed donuts. Oh my God, those shits are like
Mm.
fucking crack, yo.
When I was younger, I used to be like that, but I mean, I don't know. I think I prefer like smaller, like mom and pop donut shops now. Like getting like
Mm.
the fresh bake action versus that all that
Nah,
extra, like
man.
processed stuff.
Nah,
Like I feel like
if you go to Krispy Kreme when like the right time when they're making a fresh batch, a hot fresh batch of Krispy Kreme donuts is I could eat the whole fucking box, but let's
yeah.
let's not get too hung up on
Now let me
donuts.
ask you this: could you eat a box of cold 1 day old Krispy Kreme
Yeah,
donuts, or
yeah,
would you
yeah.
vomit because of all the dryness?
Nah, they're good. They're good for fucking forever, man. They're
Krispy Kreme is
awesome.
gonna send hitmen after us for all the slander. Talk shit about our donuts.
All right,
But
let's
yeah.
let's get into it. So yeah, we got the castle interior, third floor banquet hall within the palace. And says, looks like I'll have to eliminate those samurai. Cayman lady, are you ready for an island-wide transmission? And we see Black Maria here surrounded by her little subordinates. Um, and a lady with a reverse crocodile, and she says yes. And Sanji's on like a web crucifix thing here, and she says to Sanji, Blackleg, be a dear and call Nico Robin now. And she says, I've spun several layers of hard gum web at the entrance and on the floor. She'll be ensnared the moment she sets foot in here. And the webs will restrict her movement, allowing my subordinates to riddle her with tranquilizers. After that, and then we see her putting on some heavy duty brass knuckles here. Was not
Yeah.
expecting that at all. But
Double layer.
Sanji gets a little like
not
face
not
of
ribbed for
terror.
pleasure, let me tell you that.
No, no, it's ribbed for her pleasure.
Not his pleasure.
You just have to call her, so get it over with. And he
And she
just,
absolutely cracks the crap out of Sanji, and you're like, oh man, how can Sanji take such a blow? Is he just a weak little punk? I mean, I don't see any hockey going. Just seems like a regular physical attack. But she absolutely clobbers the crap. Sanji bounces back and forth on this web thing
yeah,
like
pretty
a
brutal.
like a really bad punching bag, like a little toy punching bag. But he's a human. Um, and he's just spitting out blood on the way back, and she just unloads, goes to town on him like a boxer, hitting a speed bag, but the speed bag is Sanji's face, And she's yelling out, "Beg her to come and rescue quickly. I have somewhere else I need to be." And Sanji is just getting absolutely wrecked. His jaw is like tight. He's like, holding on, not gonna say a word, and he refuses to open his mouth, at all to say a word. And the audience, the people who are watching him get beat, Black Maria's subordinates, they're even moved by this. All the girls are like, "I can't hold in my tears anymore. This man, he'd rather die if asking for help means endangering his friends. I might have fallen for him if we weren't on different sides." So they're all swooning about the manliness. This is Sanji 101, man.
Mm.
And he's just getting his face absolutely wrecked. And he finally yells out, "Stop!" And he's like, "How am I supposed to get a word in if you keep hitting me?" So then he declares, and all the ladies are like, "Oh yeah, he's defiant. He's gonna give like that one final resistance, like, I'd rather die, than put her in danger." And they say like, "Oh, he's so defiant. I'll probably tell her to go to hell or something. He's never gonna give in. Enough already. If you keep angering bitches, you'll really die." And then Sanji just screams out, "Robin Chan, save me!"
Yeah, and then
Just
they all just fall flat on their face. You can kind of see this coming. Them all
eye
just,
poking out,
and he gave in so easily. And then Black Maria is even shocked. And we see the broadcast going through. This, we're on the third floor in the large banquet hall. The little animals with the tags are running around, and you
They're all
know
getting
it's.
that alert, like, yeah, but like it looks like they're blasting out that message, like whoop, whoop,
Mhm.
whoop, So Sanji's voice ringing out on the island. "I'm
And
being
I'm
held
being.
hostage. Sorry."
Yeah, and Apu's still around fighting
Yeah.
Drake, and he's not a lightweight apparently. He's still holding his own, and he's
I
not. I
mean, to
guess
be
he's not a
fair, he's fighting
supernova for
Drake, so I mean,
nothing.
maybe Drake is just kind of a lightweight.
Mm.
Just
I'm
saying.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and say he has to have some skills. He's a supernova for a reason. But yeah, we so now we're getting little flashes, to different segments of the battle and what's going on, and we see Chopper working with Dr. Miyagi. And he hears he's like Sanji, and we have Heat and Wire. I think Heat is the one with the dreads. And he's like, "How pathetic," kids crew, and then
Yeah.
Beppo and Penguin over here,
Wait, is
and
he part of Kids Crew or is he part of
yeah, no,
what's
they're
his
they're,
name?
they're
Basil Hawkins, right?
no, they're kids crew. They're Heat and
Really?
Wire.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're like the weird S&M guys.
Okay.
Um, and
And then
Beppo's like,
Beppo and yeah, Law's crew are like one of the Straw Hats.
and then we get this panel over here. Marco's still dealing with King. We got some kind of reindeer-like animal running by, and samurai fighting around, and but the butterfly lady and a bird guy flying in the air behind King, and King is apparently shooting his photon lasers at Marco. I
I thought
think
those
that's
were like machine guns. I wasn't sure what was going on there.
I haven't seen machine guns on King King at this point, but he's doing something. I guess maybe he can like shoot projectiles from the flame on his back, but Marco's not particularly phased by this. And we hear Sanji saying, "If you don't come, Robin Chan, I'm gonna be killed. Please save me." And Jinbei is still dealing with Who's Who, and he's like, fending him off. You see his arm clad in armament hockey, and he's like, "Is he aware that the whole island is receiving this transmission? Nico Robin has information the whole world wants. They must be targeting her." And Frankie and Sasaki are still dealing with each other, and they're clashing. And Frankie's holding on to the horn, and he's like, "This is Sasaki's like, this is obviously a trap. What kind of man does this? Gah ha ha ha." And we
Yeah,
move on to the
Sasaki
next
up and
page.
battling still after that V laser sword attack.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Then Marco, do his little movement, crouching down with one wing on fire. And he's just like smirking. He's like, "Haha, what a lively bunch, oi." Um, and then we flash to Nami and Usopp. Nami's like, "Seriously, he must be up against a woman." And Usopp is like, "Hey, Nami, Sanji's voice is coming out of that thing. I saw it earlier too. What is that eye?" And now looks like they put their eyes on the information system. Oh, now we have 10,000 snipe things that need to be sniped. But anyways, so we get a flashback to Black Maria and her little. Oh, actually, would you see a heel enter the area that they're in? And
I think
in
it's I
shadow,
think it's I
who?
think it's in front of the entrance to the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
location.
Yeah, we see a heel, like stomp down someone's foot, marked in silhouette in the shadow in front of the third area. Black Maria's like, ooh, 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 I'm surprised, and Assange's like, huff, huff, hurry up and get me out of these webs. I called her, didn't I? Ah! And then we hear a scream from the front of the building, and one of her informants, the snake lady, like winds her little head over to Black Maria. She's like, "Big sis, someone's coming." Black Maria turns around, and is like, "That was fast." And she leans up real close to Sanji. She's like, "Anyway, I wasn't really gonna let you leave." He's like, "What? Oh yeah, your enemy who was beating your death
Yeah,
wasn't
this
gonna let
is
you leave."
yeah, of
What a
course. Why wouldn't you trust her or anything? You know what I mean? Like,
what? This is such a shock. I can't believe weren't you going to kill Nico Robin, but you aren't going to let me go. This is insanity. Anyways, so he's like, what? Weren't you just talking about how much you adored me? And she's like, this isn't business anymore. It's personal. He's like, I want you to be my pet. And he's like, just like the other cuties. And we look behind Sanji. We see a bunch of other men tied up, in agony, bleeding, like, we only love Black Maria Sama. And Black Maria's like, they can't live without me.
and I love this comeback from Sanchi. No, I love them all the ladies of the world. His fucking priorities, man. Like, seriously. And then
He's a
she's
man's man. His creed never lets him bend or break.
And then she goes, cheating isn't something I can just forgive. You need to be disciplined. And he says, wait, my arm in hockey won't work. If there's a chance I can hurt you. And then we see Gigante que esto mano. And we see Spanku. And a humongous hand comes out of nowhere and just bitch slaps the shit out of Black Maria.
We
And
see
that's
the
a very,
taste immediately leave her mouth.
very satisfying.
Yeah.
And her subordinates are crying out, Black Maria Sama. And Black Maria's like, how did you get in here? And she said, Robin says, my body can bloom anywhere. And she says, how dare you? My face. You may have lured me here, but did you really think catching a woman like, sorry, this is Robin. You may have lured me here, but did you really think catching a woman like me would be that simple? And
When you
Sanji,
flash to Sanji and he's like, just tears of joy just erupt. He's like, Robin
Robin
Chan.
Chuan. I spent half my life in unsavory organizations, so naturally seeing my friends mistreated brings out the devil in me. Imagine she
She
gets all
just
like
goes, yeah.
deep
Like
voice.
an actual, yeah, and her eyes just go hard cold. She looks like she's about to burst out with a shotting gun. Like crazy tip, but like, the devil is clearly in Nico Robin's eyes. And then we see a flash, Brooke slashing up the web cross, freeing Sanji immediately. He's pardon me, but I already cut you free with the underworld's chill. Yo ho ho ho.
Yo.
Yo ho ho. Anyways, and Black Maria subordinates scream out, "Oh, big sis! All the spider webs are breaking apart from the frost." Brooke goes, "Yo ho ho! It seems like this is a good matchup for me." And all of Black Maria's subordinates are like looking angry and like intimidated. They're like all gathering, like taking in Brooke's appearance, and they all freak out, like, "Ah, monsters!" And then Brooke's like, you're one to talk."
Actually, I think that's backwards. I think Brooke, because Brooke is always like the gag with Brooke
Oh
is he
yeah, you
sees
know
like,
what?
yeah, he sees creepy things, and then he's
I
like,
thought
oh
the
my
was coming
god.
from Black Maria's subordinates that way, but I can see clearly. You're right. It's the thought bubble is coming from Brooke's
Yeah,
little shadow outline in the corner. I do see that. So yeah,
and
he's
then
freaking
and
out,
they're
and they're like,
offended.
"You're one to talk." Yeah, damn. All right. But Sanji is getting up, all bloodied up, messed up. He's like, "But thanks. I'm gonna head where Kinemon and the others are." Huff, huff. I don't know what it is, but I don't think I'll stand a chance here. And like we guessed as much. Like obviously, like Sanji, like you're not gonna stand a chance here. And Black Maria's like, "Stop, Blackleg! I won't let you escape." Robin's like, "Are those it? Your last words?"
Like a boss.
And her face goes dark with the evil intentions that she's about to do to Black Maria.
Yeah,
She yells out, "Sanji!"
I'm wondering
And
if
he's
that
like,
stuff on
"Yes."
the side of her face is like blood from like, previously fighting and stuff, or because it's not in the next panel, because like she has like a weird like, or maybe it's supposed to be like a
Well,
crack
she
down
has
to the
scratch
side.
marks on her body and stuff,
Hmm.
if you notice, yeah. But she yells out to Sanji as Sanji's escaping. She's like, and he's like, "Yes." She yells like, "You've made my day." Gives him a little wink. "Thanks for counting on me." And Sanji, immediately has a nosebleed, heart action, keeps running without, looking where he's going, and crashes into a wall. And
I think what might have happened. I think what happened is like he slid like on ice, and it's
yeah,
just like, but that's an awesome panel. That's pretty hilarious.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah. So he like slips on ice and like crashes into a wall or something, goes through it. But like, yeah, makes an ass out of himself because of course he's Sanji and he got a compliment from a woman, from his
Hmm.
best, from his nakama, his friend.
From
But
Robin
then
Chuan.
yeah, so we flash to the Forbidden Storeroom, Skull Dome, and that's where Momo and Yamamoto and
Yamato
Kunoichi
and
are, right?
Shinobu.
And Shinobu.
Yeah.
And they have one of the observation mice devices that are running around, and it looks like Yamamoto is like burning the sensors out of it, basically disabling the device. And Momo comments, Sangoro's voice was coming out of this mouse. And Yamamoto was like, I see, so that was one of Luffy's friends. My father's army has a scouting unit called the Marys. This is one of their cyborgs. Cyborgs, robots. Interesting comment. And
Hmm.
she says they usually wander aimlessly around the island. Everything they see is seen by their human counterparts. Like, what? Which means this place is probably.
And then
And sure
we
enough, we hear
see,
knocking in the storeroom that supposedly was secure a second ago, but looks like their location has been exposed.
mhm.
And they're banging on the rattling on the door, trying to see get in. Like, hey, you sure they're in the storeroom? Nobody ever enters this cursed room. And Yamato was like, they must have seen us. This place isn't safe anymore. One was like, whoa, there's so many of them. I don't know how he knows this. Apparently, I guess he's just hearing it and making a guess.
Yeah.
They could be throwing their voices. You never know, kid. But
Shinobu's like, let's get out of here, Yamato. We have to keep Momonosuke-sama out of sight. And we see these underlings with a very phallic log running towards the cabin. The Shogun is in there. Let's break down the door. Ready, steady. And then we get Yamato just casually flashing Momonosuke, holding her vest open. And sorry, Momonosuke-kun, but you have to hide under my clothes,
makes
huh?
sense. Makes sense.
And yeah,
Titties
and
protect
then
everything.
we see the doors creaking or the barricade, and then it's cracking, and we see and then we see let's go Shinobu-chan. Sorry, Shinobu-san. They won't be able to see if we knock them out. And Shinobu's like, I think you took me too literally. And yeah, they're just smashing their way through, and instead of letting them break in, they decide to use it as a device to smash them on their way out. And we
So
move
they're
on
fighting
to
back, and Momo is securely tucked, and yeah, they're escaping.
this is why so many people hate Momonosuke, because of these kind of scenarios. But
Don't be hating, man.
yeah, seriously, I don't know what you do. I'm pretty sure you do the same thing in his situation. Yeah, we got the castle interior, third floor, and we see like intercom voice going on. It says, Black Maria, I will finish off the samurai myself. And these fodder characters are
And
all
it's
looking.
Return of the Jack. Let's go. Return of the Jack. Let's go. Yeah, Jack is back. Jack Black is back in the sack. Yeah, but Jack is on the battlefield. The Mammoth Man is ready to party. Get his head caved in again, hopefully. All
uh,
right, but yeah, he's like keeping his threat.
looking pretty worse for the wear, bandaged up.
You think so? I mean, he's got a couple of bandages, but I
He
mean,
has a
like,
bandage across his eye. Like, I wonder,
uh,
it'd be interesting if he lost an eye or something like that. But he's like half bandage across his face, trunk bandaged up, and his one of his horns have been stitched back on or stapled back on, like because it was cut off apparently when it was fighting the scabbards.
he can still back up, still in
Yep,
action.
yep. As that zone recovery, man, you can't take them out. You can't take them too lightly. But yeah, he says even if they're at death's door, the red scabbard shouldn't be taken lightly. The flying six can't handle them. And he doesn't care anymore. He's just fucking running over his own like people
Yeah.
and shit. And he says, "Don't you dare lift a finger." Got it. And Black Maria is like, "You're severely underestimating me, Jack." And what we got over
So I'm
here.
guessing maybe I guess it was Raizo and Ino and Neko who did the most damage to Jack because he's like immediately thinking of them in that flashback. So it looks like they're the ones who And it's interesting that we see a close up of Jack's face and we do not see his left eye. So maybe he did lose that eye to one of these guys.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
covered with the bandage, so you can't tell either way. But it's weird that they include Raizo in that as well. Like, I wonder if he did something uh particularly to contribute. Maybe he's the one who took his eye with a kunai or something. So
I hope so. I hope so. Jack's a little bitch.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, we continue over here, and Black Maria continues, but I'll let it slide. And she says, since you're actually making things more convenient, things worked out perfectly. And we see Robin and Brooke staring up at her huge form, and she's disrobed for some reason. We get a scene of her holding this big flaming wheel stick of doom thing, and it has like a
Man's face in the middle.
a guy's head on it, and just looking super demonic, like something out of Dark Souls. And she has a symbol on her back, and we go down, we get some side boob panels over here, and I wonder if that's just weird shading, or if she has like a farmer's tan or something. I don't know what's going on here, but her neck and her arms are dark, and her back is white. And she says, "Now, Nico Robin, from this moment onwards, you belong to Kaido-sama." She's licking her lips very savagely. And then Robin just answers back, "No thanks, I'd rather die." And Brooke is just excited, blushing. Yo! The bold versus the fearless.
So, question: does Brooke immediately ask for her panties next week? Like, I've seen your chest.
Yeah, Brooke's just happy to be here. He's all for this.
Yeah.
Um,
And we see at
yeah,
the end, no break next week. So we're getting chapter
yes,
106
yes.
back to back. Let's go.
Very, very happy about that. All right, so now we're gonna pick up with the chapter review here. So let's start with you. What do you think? Any particular things you want to talk about besides the obvious controversy?
Just a good note explaining why Sanji is just letting his ass get kicked. It's because he's such a man that, he won't let himself put armament hockey on. It's just he can't do it. His instinct won't let him hurt a woman, even their
Mm.
hands, their delicate hands.
This
So
chapter, go ahead.
so his face will let him absorb all the pain. He won't defend himself at all because he's such a man. He's a
Yeah,
man's man.
I'm surprised they didn't go back to the whole thing where after he got beat up by his brothers, that he had those stupid lumps on his face, and then his sister had to put that mask on him to conceal how fucked up his face was. But yeah, man, like I felt like this chapter was pretty meta, and like all the commentary from everybody in the chapter was kind of it mirrored the commentary of the One Piece fan base, the different reactions, like about how Sanji is and how he's behaving in this situation. Like we had the Maria's subordinates being impressed by him, and saying like, oh, his chivalry and his code is not going to let him to put his friends in danger. And then he immediately he breaks that, and like they fall on their face and like are shocked by it. And then the reactions from like Chopper and kids group and laws group, and like like kids group is like disgusted by the behavior. um Chopper is just questioning, and law is kind of neutral. And Marco, I think, to me felt like
Enjoying
the
himself. He's like,
yeah,
he's just like, oh man, these guys are funny.
yeah.
He
And
just he
I
seems like a
think
big stoner man.
to me that felt like the more, I don't want to say right, because it's whatever, it's subjective. However people want to interpret it and feel about it is their, it's their right to that, and how to feel about that. But I feel like him going with that, it's kind of like, yeah, don't take it so seriously. Like this is a dynamic that's been in One Piece forever. There's always comedy interjected into things, and
Yeah,
be lighthearted. Just go with the
like when the
flow.
entire crew loses to Perona, and then the negative one has to step in. Like, come on, it's always been like things like that. Like, like
Yeah.
every crew had every. That's the thing about the Straw Hats. Like, they all have like their interest, weaknesses that everybody else helps cover. Because the whole point is not one person can get it done. It's a team effort, guys. It's
Yeah.
all about the teamwork. It makes the dream work. Been saying this
Hmm.
for years. Won't stop.
Seriously. And I mean, not for nothing, Sanji always gets pretty fucked up in like any confrontation that the Straw Hats have. I don't think he's ever come away from anything like just clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he always has to look cool and beat up, like always walking around with severe blood loss.
Yeah. But it was endearing to see Robin show up, and the how that was a very wholesome moment for me, and how much she cares about her crew and her people and her confidence. All that was grade A, perfecto. I enjoyed the Robin stuff a lot.
Yeah, I
So
like how Nami just was like, yeah, obviously he's fighting a woman. Like, no other explanation. Like, no way he would
yeah.
ask for Robin to help him out. So they're like, oh my God, this idiot, like getting himself into more crappy situations.
hmm And yeah, and even Jinbei, he's a pragmatic one. He also is another running commentary, that kind of mirrors the community, where he's like, he's people are after Robin, and it's gonna be like disclosing where she is. So like, is this an opportunity for people to come and scoop her up? Some of Kaido's people, or CP0, or
You know
whatever.
what? You know what everyone's like forgetting is that Robin was only with CP0 because she gave herself up to CP0. She didn't get captured by CP0. Like
Oh
Robin's a
yeah,
badass. She's gonna
yeah,
fuck people up, and that's just it. Put some respect on her name, man. She's
yeah.
like she could be in the top, three, trio if she wanted to, but she just doesn't give a shit enough to do that. You know.
Yeah, it'd be cool if she pull out some. I'm armament hockey. I'm gonna go ahead and say like I don't think it's likely, but she got an
I don't think it's
upgrade.
unlikely, honestly. Like, I mean,
She
Robin
has I don't
has.
know. She hasn't showcased it since she came into the new world, so it'd be
Yeah.
kind of awkward for her to just randomly pull it out.
Maybe
But
she was developing it or something, and like the moment will call for it. I feel like, in battle, like that's usually when the Straw Hats kind of get their shit together.
mm,
So we'll see. Maybe she'll unleash a new cool attack. Everybody seems to be, unleashing a cool new attack. So maybe this Wano experience has like taught her something.
mm. One thing I want to say with the whole same thing, she's saying I can bloom anywhere. I'm wondering if this is either a saying like if this is a body double, so we could get a moment where like it looks like she's going to be captured by somebody, maybe she defeats like Black Maria or whatever, and you know after that it's like somebody tries to swoop in to come and steal her, but the clone just dissipates when they try to snatch her up. Or you know if she's it'd be like if she can just teleport now, that'd be pretty crazy, because we haven't had any kind of confirmation that that's an ability that she has up to this point. You know what I mean? Like she can, we've seen her sprout her limbs anywhere she wants, but it's always like a clone limb. It's not her actual like limbs, and she can make body doubles and stuff. But to actually like move her own like original body from place to place, like it puts her. It's a skill that Law has. You know what I mean? To be able to
Yeah,
teleport places. So that's a pretty big skill to be
pretty
able to
useful
have.
ask. Yeah,
Yeah. But I don't want to see. I really don't want to see her get kidnapped and have another rescue arc or any of that
yeah.
shit. I don't want to see the Straw Hats split up now until the end of the series. I don't want that to happen. I want them to just stay together as a cohesive unit and go forward. Um, so yeah, that's how I hope that goes.
I somehow think Momo might actually be the one captured. Like, also think because he can speak to the giant elephant and people find out. I think somehow about that, but
Mhm.
yeah, and I'll have to go get him. But they'll be like the whole United Strut. I don't know, but we shall see.
We shall
So,
see. You were right though in your prediction, at least to a certain degree, with the whole um the Marys with the paper face thing, and you were
mhm,
you were saying like, oh, it's maybe it's like a cybernetic thing, like a cyborg thing, and I was saying like, oh no, I think it's more of a mystical thing, given
mhm,
the nature of this. So in some degree, the animals are robotic, so you get points for that. As far as the paper on their faces, we don't know the technology behind that. So
yeah,
maybe it's a half and half thing, but I totally wasn't predicting that whatsoever. I didn't think they were gonna be
yeah.
cybernetic.
So I guess this goes back to the whole Queen thing. Like I think this is part of his
Yeah,
technology, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's a safe bet.
God,
Um,
these guys just have too many things going on. Like, I mean, I guess you can't make more characters to do, like to do all this, right? But Jesus Christ, King and Queen have just like several things going on. It's hard to keep
Yeah.
track of everything they're talented in.
I mean, shit. Queen's a cyborg, has a cyborg army. King is a pterodactyl fire flying feather man
S&M, man.
who can shoot machine gun fire bolts at people. Like they're covering all the bases here.
Yeah,
Jack
very
by
well
far
rounded.
is the most ordinary one of all, out of all of them.
He's just a
Um,
psycho ass punk.
yeah. There's speculation that him, Sanji's going to the scabbards and Jack is headed there. So, it's saying, this might be Sanji's fight,
That's
Sanji
what
and
I'm
Jack.
thinking, because like it's also like Sanji would have seen the scene on Zoe first and probably been like the most affected, you know.
Mm,
Not the most affected, but like severely, because he saw, he's one who like helped the Minks and saw like helped nurse them back. So I'm sure like as a warrior that that means, especially too, like the guys that were mutilated, like their leg and their hands, that probably means a lot to Sanji too, because the thing with freaking what's his name, the chef,
Zeph.
like yeah, Zeph. So the thing about like Zeph gave, sacrificed his limb, and this guy's off chopping off limbs for the, for the, the hell of it, So I'm sure like he's gonna like Sanji will have feelings about that, because he cares about Chef's precious hands, and he cares about like his legs obviously as fighting units. So it's like both of those got taken from people he respects and admires. So I could see Jack versus Sanji getting real personal real fast.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering, I mean, how do you, if that was his fight, how would you feel about that? Do you think that's like, gives him enough clout, or because people always compare Sanji with Zoro because they're always in competition with one another and they have the rivalry. So it's
Mm,
kind of like, oh man, Zoro gets to fight fucking two Yonko, and Sanji's just gonna be relegated to dealing with the third Yonko commander. Like, what I mean? And it's like I like I would kind of want more for Sanji. In an ideal world, I would like for Sanji to deal with Jack and Queen. Like that would be cool. Like Jack, he has like this, just like he's dealing with the stuff downstairs inside the dome, while Luffy and Zoro are dealing with stuff on top of the dome. So
mm.
like it's comparable. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't just put Zoro so much higher above
I think
Sanji. And
taking out two executives would be pretty impressive. I mean, with the raid suit technology, maybe, because
yeah.
like it's also like a technology thing, and you can see how Queen would want to take a look at that, and it's black and sleek, so you could see how King would want to get his hands on that, because he's like, "Ooh, look at that, like, really, really sexy on my gear." So maybe like he takes on all three executives, and everybody can be happy if that's what they want. I don't know. Like, listen, it's cool. Zoro gets to fight a Yonko. Like, Sanji's gonna do cool things, and maybe he's not gonna get that power level, but he's still fucking dope.
Yeah.
More do you want?
Hmm. But yeah, man. That's some pretty cool shit. This was a great chapter in my opinion. I loved a lot about it, and I'm still not, I'm interested in the rooftop stuff obviously, but I'm not like, oh man, I really want to go back to the roof. This stuff is pretty interesting to me too. And
Yeah.
Robin, just stole the show this chapter. So with that being said, if there's nothing else you wanted to particularly bring up, was there?
Cool seeing Jack back in action, of course. What else did I think? There was something that I really did want to bring up. Interesting that doesn't have his own fight. Looks like he's gonna tag, with Robin during this fight, and I kind of thought he'd be getting his own little action somewhere on the island with an executive or
Mm.
somebody.
Well, I mean, besides Zio, he's never had like a one-on-one as far as I can recall. Like he's always kind of provided a support role. Which isn't to say that it's not something he can grow out of, or he can't, accomplish something on his own. But who's to say? I mean, I'm gonna guess that, Robin will be dealing with Black Maria while he deals with the subordinates, and he'll probably like freeze them in place and stuff like that. So that's where I'm thinking is that's gonna go. There's still a lot of contenders and people around, so who Brooke is always cool. Brooke always impresses. So
Yeah, no,
I don't.
I always love me some Brooke. I'm just saying, like, I just, because he did get the one on Fishman Island. I thought, and it looked like there was enough opponents to go around. I kind of thought that was the formula. I'm just a
Mm,
little surprised. Like, but again, the fight still can develop, and like, I feel like we're still gonna have those lineup moments where it's like, everybody's like actually gets their set fight. Like right now, it feels like only Frankie's really in his fight. Like
yeah,
everybody else is still like kind of like moving around looking for their main fights.
yeah. I'm thinking that Nami is gonna get ulti and Usopp is gonna get page one.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
that's how it's gonna break down.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, awesome chapter. Nothing else you want to bring up, right?
Oh, I think we're having a little sneak preview of. I think this is Usopp figuring out the spy display going on, and I think this is going to lead to him starting to snipe that out and taking out their
Mm,
eyes and start to get the strategy really unraveling. Another piece of the strategy unraveling. So you have their subordinates slowly being switched over to their side on the show, and now like
their
have good
surveillance is
communication
being
coming in
dismantled.
exactly. So like this is going to lead to panic and destabilization, which is very important in warfare. So it's a good thing that a good key moment there, Usopp picking up on the eye thing. And
Yeah,
you should be able to figure something to do with that.
yeah, that's a good catch, yo. Um, so yeah, we doing predictions or we doing MVP?
Let's do MVP.
Yeah,
For me, I think it was obvious. I had Nico
yeah,
Robin
of
as
course.
the MVP. Everybody putting respect in the crew on her name.
Hmm.
I love that everyone was shocked, and everyone's like just realize, and Sanji was just like, you know what? I kind of just need some help right now. And Nico's a badass, and she'll come save me because that's what this crew's about. And
Hmm.
that's what it's about. It's about the friendship, about everyone having each other's back. That's what
Hmm.
it's about.
Nakama, yo. And yeah, no, far like this it's undisputable. Robin is the MVP of this chapter. She was so awesome. She had great one-liners. She smacked the
Cool,
shit out of
calm,
Black
collected.
Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she was pretty awesome. And
Making
the
Sanji run into the wall with that little wing.
yeah, the
You know what she's
wholesomeness,
doing.
very, very, very appreciative. I loved all of it. Um,
Also dark as heck, being like, "Oh, are those your last words?" And like, she's gonna snap her neck then and there.
yeah.
Pretty, pretty badass moments from Nico Robin. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I mean, when she sets her mind to things, like there hasn't really been any kind of struggle. Like, I mean, when she fought Yama in Skypiea, that big fat priest guy, like
Yeah,
she took a lot of damage, but that's because she was trying to protect the the architecture and all that stuff. So, once she got serious, the fight was over. Um and I'm thinking that's kind of like her fighting style. I don't think she's going to be really taking any kind of significant damage from Black Maria. I think she's gonna just like run her through her hoops and just, you know, trip her up and just beat the crap out of her. So I'm
yeah.
thinking it's gonna be a pretty masterful fight on Robin's part. So yeah, that is the MVP. Robin wins it by a long shot. Um, and yeah, chapter predictions. What do you think is gonna happen next chapter?
Okay, so next chapter, I'm thinking we're gonna get to finally the samurai and the in the closet part. I think maybe that's why we didn't get the shadow reveal last week or the week before when the chapter came out because he knew he wasn't immediately gonna jump to it. So it's like, okay, that's why he didn't leave us hanging. Because then it's like, oh, why did you switch up when we got this cool reveal or more information there? So I guess it's gonna tie in. I think Sanji's gonna find them, find out who's helping these guys, maybe set up another battle with him and Jack looming. That's my big thing going on.
Mhm. Um, yeah, I think I'm more or less on the same page with that. I think uh what's I gonna say? Yeah, I'm gonna say that we're gonna see more of Robin and Black Maria's development. I don't think it'll be the entire chapter or even probably the majority of it, but I
Yeah.
think we'll see more development in that vein. I'm thinking we'll probably get a little bit more of Frankie and Sasaki as well. And maybe we'll start to see another development kick off with other Straw Hats and other Toby Ropo or something.
Yeah,
Like
I'm thinking
that.
maybe Chopper might get a highlight next week.
Mm,
Him seeing what's going. Sorry,
no worries.
apologies. Yeah, but
Uh,
I think sorry, I think Chopper's gonna get some highlights, and maybe we get another flash of Scratchman and
Drake.
And Drake, yeah.
Mm.
Because we got a little hint there. It's good to see Scratchman running around, not dead yet. A little annoying
Chicka
little
chicka
punk.
row.
Gosh, love. I hate how much I like that. No, I love to hate that guy.
Yeah, and he's a good character if he elicits that much emotion, So
Yeah.
there's that. Oh, chapter grade. Uh, I'm gonna give this chapter in 8.5. Probably almost a 9. I think this chapter was pretty awesome.
I'm gonna give it a 7.8. I think it was consistently good. Other than Robin's part, I mean, just didn't have like the overall like crazy beats. Like it was a good moment, good solid chapter, good entry. But yeah, just consistent for me. Nico Robin was dope as heck. Seeing her show up and save Sanji like that, and Brooke being there. But yeah, for me, this was just kind of like a more transitional chapter. Good, not great. You know.
Mm. Yeah, for me, there was a lot of meat in this. You know what I mean? Like fight chapters are cool. Don't get me wrong. I love fight chapters, and you want to see the action, especially when there's so much setup. But there was a lot of movement in this chapter. There was, it just felt like it had a lot of substance, which I
Yeah,
appreciated.
yeah, definitely a lot of pieces moving around.
But yeah, man. On that note, someone
Sorry,
needs to someone needs to go
sorry.
to bed. It's past the bedtime. Sleepy boys over here. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed the chapter as much as we did. I thought it was awesome. My brother obviously holds it in high regard as well.
Yeah, not as great, not quite as much, but still a solid chapter. Still think it was great work. And I can't wait to see what happens next week. Still want to be, asking, begging for more.
No
Need more.
break.
Never enough, and
Oh.
no break exactly. So hopefully we get some more good action coming next week. And yeah, I do like the development. Maybe we do get to see a Sanji versus two executive scenario going on. That would be pretty cool. Maybe all the Sanji haters can shut the hell up then.
Yeah. All right then, guys. If you have any questions or comments, even if you want to just share something stupid, like if you love cheesecake, feel free to throw it down there. We
I
will
love
discuss
cheesecake too.
it.
It's the best.
Definitely want to hear from
Submit
you
your favorite
guys.
donut types.
Yes, favorite donuts for real. Apple fritter is also another high contender for
Ooh,
me.
bomb one, yeah. It's slept
Yeah.
on pumpkin donuts.
All right, guys. On that note, have a good night. I've been Lock Zero.
And I'm Rev.
Peace.
Easy.